Okay, hello everybody. Amanda joining me live, and the rest of you joining on the recording. It's Thursday here in Alberta. Another gorgeous autumn day with a cool morning and a sunshiny, beautiful, bright afternoon. So it's just been a lovely, lovely time here in this part of Alberta. I'm just going to scooch myself a little bit forward, trying to find just the optimal position. In my little tiny window of opportunity here. I guess I'll scoot back here. Okay, welcome to practice. We're going to start seated tonight. And seated for you means propping up your bottom on a pillow or a very like a low yoga block or cushion or sponge, whatever is comfortable for you, to enable you to sit nice and straight and tall through the crown comfortably for a few minutes while we get ready to breathe together, to settle in together, to enjoy pranayama together. So welcome to practice. A few deep breaths as we arrive and settle in. Check in with our physical body. If there's anything that needs a little wiggle to get settled, any little intuitive movements, anything that feels grumpy or restricted, just sending extra breath and love into any areas that might be requesting that. And we'll check in with our emotional, energetic body as well, our space. See how we're feeling. What's hovering around, observing both the positive, kind of joyful, settled, peaceful thoughts, and anything that might be a little has some clouds attached to them. Any other thoughts that maybe aren't serving you 100% that you may want to set aside or make space for something else that might be serving you better. So we're just checking in, observing and noticing. And as we do this little check-in and settle in, I invite you just to set your intention for our practice together this evening. Letting the breath now, inviting it to become longer and deeper and slower. And as you come to the breath, I'm just going to share a little bit about my plan for the class this evening. I'd like to focus on our lateral lines. I'm doing a very deep dive into our fascial lines in the body. And the lateral line is one that's a major one in our movement patterns. And it's really encompasses the major stabilizer of the body. I'll talk about that a bit through the class. We'll be focusing on some postures and positions that really help us feel into the lateral lines and help us understand why they stabilize us, why they act as stabilizers as they do. For optimal sensation, I'm going to invite you, if you haven't already got one ready, to grab a yoga strap, or if you haven't a strap handy, you can use a large scarf, anything that has just a little bit of give and not too thin so it doesn't kind of bite into you. And we'll make a loop when we get there. Then we'll be using this strap, and a block as well, having handy would be great. Okay, back to our breath. Focus on our breath. I'm going to lead you through a guided count breath now. We're going to breathe in for the count of 4, noticing where and how we're feeling the expansion. We're going to pause for 2 counts. Just pause there. Don't hold it. Don't grip it. Just wait, pause, suspend, and then we'll exhale on 4 counts. And I like to, this is the singer in me, I like to vocalize the S, making a sibilant, like a snake sound. What that does, we have a little more sensation of it. We feel it passing through our lips. We can hear it. We can monitor it with our audio. So it's just a little bit more sensational. We have more sensation when we. So again, we'll breathe in for 4 counts. I'll do the counting. We'll pause for 2. Then we'll tumble into the exhale. We'll exhale for 4 on a sound. Okay, let's try that together. We'll breathe in for 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. 2 and exhale. 2, 3, 4 and pause. And breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Pause. 2 and 2, 3, 4 and relax. And breathing in. 2, 3, 4. Pause. 2. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, and relax. Continue on your own count. Now you have the rhythm. All the time, spine just sit tall through the crown. Open through the heart. Soft in the jaw, lips, tongue. And when we release at the end of each one, really letting go. So we start fresh with the inhaling. Feeling into it deeply. Noticing where the inhale is happening. How, where. Can we take it deeper, a little broader, a little wider? When we exhale, can we release a little bit more? So wherever you're at, we'll do 2 more of those full breaths, cycles. Then when you're ready, we'll meet seated and we'll change to cross on our legs because we've been in this same cross for a few minutes now. Switching up the cross, getting tall again through crown, reaching skyward. And we'll breathe hands all the way up. Inhaling, big reach upward. Exhale, turn fingers to the earth. And noticing where and how you feel the expansion of the inhale. We're reaching up to breathe in. Exhaling, fingers to earth. We'll do that one more time. Breathe all the way up. Big reach upwards. Getting tall. Fingers turning to earth. Exhale. Taking arms up again one more time. Dropping the right hand to the earth. Reaching across with the left hand as that left hip sinks into earth. Long across that sideline of the body. And then the hand that's in the air, your lifted left hand, will take it to the top of your head. Wrap your hand around the crown of your head. Let your gaze float up. Pressing that right hand into floor. Gaze up. And if it's available, leaning a little into your back body and feeling the connection from the hand on the floor right up over and across to the opposite hip. And breathing. So right across that side line of our body. Can you open that lifted shoulder a wee bit more? Are you breathing deeply? And is your jaw relaxed? One more breath. Releasing the head, we'll take that hand up and over. Gently plant fingers on the mat, coming across the other side. Reaching across that side body, pressing that hand into earth. And then the hand in the air, let's drop it to the crown of your head. Cradle the crown of your head with your hand. Let your gaze float up if they aren't already. Maybe you're leaning a little into your back body as we press the hand into the earth, connected to the opposite hip. One more breath. And we'll breathe that up and over. Both hands rising again on the inhale. Taking a twist now to the right side, hand floating to the opposite knee. Your other fingers tenting behind you. And this time, I often ask you to give a little tug on the knee with that hand. This time, let the hand just rest gently and focus on turning your torso to where it's comfortable. Just getting that rotation in your torso as you look over the shoulder. So it's not about really looking back deeply. It's about feeling that rotation as we stay tall, right through the crown of our head, rotating in our torso. I'm going to explain why in a minute. One more breath. And we'll breathe that up to center with a big reach skyward. Exhale, turning to the other side, hand floating to the knee, fingers tenting behind us. And again, using our rotational possibility, noticing how the torso can rotate to take the gaze back as we stay beautiful and tall through the crown of our head. One more breath. Let's release hands skyward again. Exhale them down. I'm just going to explain something. Lateral line, I'm going to stand up for this, is a line, just like it says, being lateral, meaning the outside edges. It starts at the base of the big toe. Then it goes under the foot, up the side of the leg, over the knee, up into our IT band, up the side of the hip. And here's where it gets into the torso. It kind of becomes like lattice work, kind of laces this way in both directions in our torso. That's what gives us that lateral rotation, that slight rotation. And then it scoots under the shoulder and up to the back of the head. And there's one on each side, of course. So the big toe is a big player in this, a great toe. And therefore also foot and ankle mobility. So just bearing that in mind, that's going to be the focus of our practice today. We just did that rotation in the torso, and that's really bringing into play this interlacing of the fascial tissue in our rib cage, in our intercostal muscles, and oblique muscles there. So perhaps you felt that as you were twisting. Now let's take the right leg long, extend it, keep the bend in the left knee. Again, using the idea of rotation to take your torso towards that bent knee, just where it feels natural and comfortable, and just perhaps sensing into the idea that there is that web of fascial tissue, that lattice work there that's giving us that rotational possibility. We'll open up our wings, slide that pinky down the shin bone, inhale to look back at that back hand, exhale to sweep the hand forward to meet the front hand, following it with our gaze. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. And open. And close. Let's open that one more time to plant hand on earth. I'm going to try to stay on the camera here. We'll scooch up on that bent knee, reach across our diagonal. I'm off the camera with my hand, but right from the tip of my toe up the side of my body, reaching right through your fingertips and look up, send that, open that lifted shoulder upwards a bit. Again, that slight rotation, leaning into back body slightly as that top shoulder rounds, opens. This is called stargazer pose, really lengthening from toe to fingers. And then we can circle that shoulder, get into that shoulder girdle gently and lovingly, breathing the whole time and changing direction, going the other way. Our final circling will bring everything back down to earth. We'll change sides, taking the other leg extended, bending the other knee. So probably your left leg's extended, your right knee is bent. Again, use that new sensation of rotation to take your torso towards that bent knee, just to where it feels, aha, there's something there. We're not torquing it. We're not trying to really wrench it over. Just a natural rotation in the spine. Opening up our wings, sliding pinky bone down, that shin bone, pinky finger that is. Inhaling, gaze back. Exhale to sweep that hand across to meet the front hand as our gaze follows the journey of the hand. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Two more. Inhale. Exhale. And again, inhale. Exhale. Let's take that hand open to plant on the floor, rooted down, come across your diagonal from fingertips right through toes. Beautiful reach. Look up, let your torso rotate slightly. The hand on the earth is rooted down. We're breathing in this beautiful elongation of sky, stargazer, and then we'll circle that shoulder. Get some movement in that joint. Breathing. And we'll change direction, go the other way as we're breathing. And our final circle will bring everything down to earth, hips, feet. And let's bring the feet in front of us and just windshield wiper side to side, heels on the floor. Okay, tucking our toes under our feet, coming up onto our toes for a toe balance. Feet are parallel. If your blocks are handy, hopefully they are. Mine are now. Just in case you want them, depending on how you feel in these toe balances, the blocks can be there to rest your hands on for stability. Perhaps you don't feel you need them. Perhaps hands can come to heart center. So finding your version of this toe stand. All through the crown once again, softening the jaw and the lips and the tongue between the brow. Noticing the little wobbling, pressing those great toe mounds down. And now I'm trying to, while we're here, trying to push the feet apart as the big toes press down. Notice what's turning on, what's lighting up. How about 2 more breaths here? Maybe pressing toe pads down so we float slightly off the back of our legs, our hips. Okay, let's release that. Take hands to earth, lower heels down into a forward fold with a nice generous bend in the knees. Wrapping our arms around our upper legs so each hand can grasp the opposite elbow or arm. Relax the neck. Root your big toes down and try to press the outside of the legs, the lateral edge of the legs into your hands. Press hard. Resist with the arms. The arms aren't going anywhere. Press legs and arms. Keep your big toes pressing down. And try to push the feet apart on the mat. You can also think of dialing them out, which I talk about a lot. Press toes down, dial feet out, press legs into arms, knees are unlocked, relax the head, and breathe. Notice what you're feeling. Do you notice the lateral outside line of your legs? What's lighting up? And release that, shake it out. And we're going to grab the strap now. I just came to standing. I didn't cue that, but I'm assuming you're all just kind of following along. We're going to take the strap, which is in a nice loop. If you need to pause the recording to make your loop go ahead, we're placing the strap around the legs. I like to put the buckle between the legs so it's not pressing on any flesh. Feet are parallel. So just make any adjustments in that strap or scarf if you're using a scarf. Very important that we keep the knees unlocked. We don't lock out our joints. All right, with feet parallel, those great toe mounds pressing down. Many of you have done this with me in the past. We're going to press into the strap with the outside of our legs. While we're here, we can tighten our glute muscles because our glutes are actually a part of this line as well. Big toes are rooted, spinning palms perhaps forward somewhat to what again was comfortable in your body. Let's get tall through the crown. Toes are rooted. Use the strap, press out into it and feel. So this lateral line really lights up when we work against this strap. And what does it do? It's like, again, one of our main stabilizers in the body. It stabilizes our walking, all our movements on the sagittal plane, and moving front and back. It keeps our body, kind of contains the body when we walk, and it stabilizes our joints, ankles, knees, hips, our spine. It's so stabilizing. So we're pressing out into that strap and feeling into to the outside of our legs, our lateral lines. Let's release that. It's quite strong. Wiggle it a couple times, shake it out, and we'll turn it on again. If you need to move the strap to a new spot, if you're feeling that digging in, go ahead and do that. Starting with the feet parallel. Rooting down those great toes, dialing feet and knees away from each other as you press into the strap. Getting tall, tightening glutes, palms spinning slightly forward or forward. Tall, tall, tall. Tuck your chin a little bit. Press into that strap and feel. Tighten your glutes. Are your knees unlocked? Breathing. Nice. Let's release that again. Release activation. Shake it a couple times. Going to turn it on again, starting at feet. Great toe mounds. Root down. Dial feet and knees away from each other. Press into the strap. Tighten glutes. Palms forward. Tall through crown. Let's inhale, hands all the way up. Make a steeple with your fingers. Inhale, get tall, press into the strap. Let's tip to the right side. Sinking the left foot down, gaze floating up. Try to pull your hands apart. Lean a little bit back into the back body. Opening up that top shoulder. Keep feeling into your feet. Big toes are rooted. You're pressing into the strap. Lots going on here in this moon pose. It's strong and we should be feeling lots of activation. One more breath. Let's inhale up to center. Release that. Exhale, a little bending. We'll take it on, turn it on again. Inhale, get tall, turn everything on. Press down toes, dial up the feet, get tall. Tip to your other side. Your left side, gaze is up. Press into the strap, tighten your glutes, and try to pull your hands apart as that top shoulder opens. And you lean a little back, a little bit back into back body if possible. Breathing, pull those hands apart. So nice, release that. Oh yeah. Let's sit down in a chair. Just hands to your hips first of all. We're going to focus on feet. Big toe mounds. Guess what we're doing? Dialing feet apart. Let's press into that strap. Your hips, sacrum is going straight back. Hands to heart center. Breathing here in our activated chair pose. Feeling into this. And I always feel like this pose is way more stable and easier to do when we're pressing into the strap. So just entertaining that possibility. Inhale, exhale. Let's take the left arm across the right thigh into a twist. Again, rotating that torso just to feel to where it feels natural, being aware of that rotation as we press into the strap with the lateral sides of our legs. Breathing. Our crown is forward, our tail is straight back, and our legs and feet are doing the exact same thing. One isn't kind of scooching in front of the other. Just check that your knees are lined up. Let's take one more breath. Then we'll breathe that straight on up. We'll exhale to our second side, into our rotation. Again, now noticing that intercostal rotation in the ribs, in your torso, noticing what's available. Root those big toes down and press into the strap. Breathing. Your tail's pointing straight back. Your crown is forward, pointing forward. One more breath. So good. It will inhale that all the way up. Oh yeah. Exhale. Let's step out of that strap. Keep it handy. We'll use it again. Grab a drink. Let's hydrate. So hopefully you felt that as much as I did. It really lights up the outside of our legs, which of course really supports our knee joints, our ankles, hips, really very gently strengthens into the hips, the hip flexors, hip rotators, the glutes. And it's very safe as well. Okay, we'll step to the front of our mats. Inhale, arms all the way up, big reach up, unlock the knees. Exhale, diving down with a flat back, lowering hands to floor for a forward fold with bent knees, please. Coming up partway to a flat back, hands resting on shins. Tuck your chin. Exhale to lower. 2 more times. Coming up to a flat back. Inhale, tuck your chin. Exhale, lower. And 1 more time. Here we come to a flat back. Tuck your chin. Exhale to lower. Hands coming to the earth. And we'll step it back. Lower our knees down. And find a tabletop position. Finger pads are wide here, as always. They're rooting down, they're pressing down. We're dialing the hands away from each other. That brings the elbows to tuck in, feeling that tensioning, that distribution of tension forces from the finger pads right up through the palms of the hands, wrapping around wrists, wrapping around your elbows and your shoulders down your back. So turning on that hand to core activation. Let's press our shoelaces into floor. Notice what's turning on. Breathing. We can stay here if you would like a little bit more. The knees can float up. Your choice. Breathing. How about 3 more breaths? Elbows unlocked, hands dialing out. The lowering the knees, send up the heart, send up the tail. A few cat-cows, rounding the spine, tucking your tail. Keep the activation turned on. Hand to core by pressing fingertips, pads wide, dialing them out. Exhale as we round into our cat. Pubic bone to sternum. Inhale to send up the heart, send up the tail. Exhale, rounding. And 1 more. Here we go. Inhaling up. Exhaling to round. Walk the hands a little bit forward, tuck the toes, send up the hips for a downward facing dog. Hands pressed forward, finger pads wide, dial hands away from each other, press hands to the front end of the mat. Invite your heels down, flatten between the shoulder blades, and breathe. Very nice. Sending weight onto left foot, send the right foot up. Pivot that right hip, just kind of dip it down a bit so it's kind of tilting towards earth. Enables the lifted leg to spin in slightly. We're going to take 4 stops with that lifted right knee. First stop, right knee, right elbow. Inhale, extend. Exhale, right knee to right, right elbow, I said. Better stick with the program. Inhale, take it back, because it really doesn't matter. Next stop, right knee, left elbow. Inhale it back. Third stop, right knee, left wrist. Inhale it back to extend. Long, long, long. And our final stop, right knee, right wrist. Moving really slowly. So. When that knee arrives in the neighborhood, we'll lower that leg. Keep the tuck in your back toe. Keeping that left knee off the mat. If you want to use a block to rest hands on, that's fine. I've got my 1 block is here, the one's behind me. But what we're going to do here, we've done this before. I think most of you are pressing into that shin bone, knee, shin bone, heel, ankle with that front leg on the floor, pressing down to get tall. Imagine an arrow, drawing an arrow of the energy forces that are, as we press down, the energies up from the earth, coming to sky, as we float everything up by pressing down. What are we turning on? We're turning on our hip rotators, our hip flexors, and that's part of our lateral line. So feeling into that activation, press to the back toes is a strong, frisky pigeon. We're breathing. How about 2 more breaths? Get as tall as you can. And then gently lowering down, hip to the floor. We'll take the left knee to bend around the right bent knee. If this is not so comfortable, not so available, the right leg can be extended with the left bent knee wrapping. Whichever version you got, we'll take the right arm to wrap around bent left knee. Left fingers taking us, our gaze behind us. I'm turning away from the camera, my apologies. And again, we're noticing that rotation. We're not doing any tugging here. We're just turning our torso, using that rotation of those lateral lines to find a rotation. If we want more activation, we can press the outside of the left knee into the right arm. But just take the rotation to where you feel it is happening comfortably, letting you get as tall as possible. One more breath. You will bow over that front foot. Just surrendering down, letting the neck go. Big breath. Unwinding our pretzel. Left foot's coming behind you, a tucked toe. Plant your hands down. Get them rooted. Open up those finger pads and send the right foot through and back for your three-legged dog. Lowering foot to floor. Pedaling through your dog. Pedal right through your feet, all the way through. Maybe the head wants to move too. And then coming to center, load foot, right foot with your weight. Send the left foot up, spin that left leg into the midline so the left hip tilts toward earth. Press hands forward. Now left knee will make its 4 stops. First stop, left knee, right elbow. Here we go. Inhale, exhale, left knee, right elbow. Inhale, take it back. Keep your hands pressing down, finger pads wide. Next up, left knee, left elbow. It's moving slowly, like we're moving through, I don't know, chocolate or red wine. Take that leg back. Next up, left knee, right wrist. We're breathing, of course. Finger pads are pressing, hands downing out, leg comes back for one final one, which would be the left knee, left wrist. Move slowly. Bring it slowly to the neighborhood. When we arrive, we lower that leg down, keep the tuck in the back toe. Left knee, right knee off the mat. Hands either to floor or to blocks or to heart center or to your hips. Doesn't matter. The focus is on pressing left knee, left lower leg, foot and ankle into earth to send that energy skyward. We're pressing down to float up, tall through the crown. Press hard. Feel into it. What's lighting up? What do you feel turning on? Breathing and smiling. Nice, nice, nice. How about 2 more breaths? Get tall. Press that front leg down. 1 more breath. Slowly lowering down. Left hip meets the mat. Bend right knee to wrap around the left bent knee. Again, that left leg can be straight if you wish. But take the left arm to wrap around right knee. Left fingers floating behind, finding that rotation in your torso. If you want activation, we can press right leg into left arm, wrist, etc. Breathing here. Getting taller. Breathing. Relaxing jaw, get tall. 1 more breath. And then wind yourself out of that to bow over that front foot forward and breathe. Lovely. Taking that right foot around and back to our tucked toe. Plant your hands, send your left foot through and back, 3-legged dog. Breathing. Okay, we'll lower the feet down. Let's walk feet towards hands. Generous bend in the knee. Hands can come to a block or to the mat. Again, as usual, big toes pressing down, rooting down. Dial the feet and knees away from each other. Hips float up, relax the neck. Press into those toes. Imagine that strap is around your legs and you're pressing into the strap. Maybe tightening into your glutes. The bend in the knees is really important. That releases the strain on the superficial back line. We don't want to overtax our hamstring tendons by bending the knees. We're releasing that tension there. Breathing. And we don't want to overexploit those tissues. Bending the knees breaks that line and releases that tension. Let's press into the feet to slowly come on up. Slowly, slowly, breathing. Inhale, arms all the way up. Big stretch upward. Exhale down. Okay, have a block handy for this or a book. Coming to the front of our mats, we'll take a giant step back with one leg. I'm using my right leg. I'm going to turn my right foot towards the camera, in this case, so everybody can see me. We're taking a bent knee over that heel and ankle. So you have a nice right angle at the heel. Let's press that big toe down, that forward foot, dial that foot away from each other, and press into the outer aspect of that front knee or left knee. I like to sometimes slip my hand there. If I was with you in person, I'd probably put my hand gently on the outside of your knee to press into my hand. So imagine you could do that with your own hand. So we establish that stability in the front leg and that a lateral line, that lights up the lateral line when we do that. The back foot now, let's press into the outside of the foot, the pinky edge of the toe. We're dialing the feet away from each other. And this activation of dialing out really does light up our lateral line, prevents our knees from spilling inwards. Again, stability. Let's open up our wings. Looking over that middle finger. Beautiful reach. We'll bend the front elbow onto the leg and reach across our side body. Beautiful reaching again, right up our sideline of our body from the outside edge of that foot, extended foot, the right foot to the fingers of the right arm. Gaze floating up. Maybe a bit of rotation in that torso. The gaze will make that happen, help it to happen. Maybe leaning a bit into back body. Breathing into the side angle, pressing into the feet. Feeling. Let's breathe back through a warrior two, everybody. Find a reverse or exalted warrior where that right hand will slide down the leg or can wrap around the waist. Long through that lifted arm. Gaze upwards. Let's flow back to our warrior two. Find our side angle by bending that arm, reaching across that side body. That entire lateral line is turning on here. Press into the pinky outside edge of that foot, that extended foot. Open up your shoulder, take the gaze upwards, noticing that rotation. Very precise. And we'll breathe back through warrior two to find our exalted or reverse warrior. Okay, coming back through warrior two, we're going to move into triangle here. Straighten the front leg, reach with the front hand and get your block situated. This time I'm going to put it on the outside of that foot. Sometimes I have it on the inside. Let's put it the outside edge of the leg, down the leg on the floor. Put your hand on the block. We'll open up that posture. Big, strong fingers, palms forward, gaze upward. Press into your feet, unlock your knees. Really important. If you have a tendency to hyperextend in your knees, please make sure they're unlocked here. We can do that, feel that more by pressing in to the feet. Now we're turning on our muscles. Gaze is upward, we're leaning into back body slightly. Breathing. Okay, let's lower that lifted hand. Our hand is on the block on the floor. Let's place the block in front of that forward foot. Right hand on hip. Send your right leg up. Whoopsie. For version of half moon. Hand can stay on hip or it can float up. The foot on the floor is dialing out. I love doing this against a wall. Then we can really light up the back body and feel the lateral line as well. We can imagine we're against the wall. Press the back of your hand into that imaginary wall, your shoulder to the heel of your lifted foot, the length of that leg, and breathe. Nice, one more breath. Slowly lowering down from there. Get your block ready on the other side. We're going to be using it, of course. Coming to the front of your mat, grab a drink in between if you'd like to hydrate. And taking a step back with your other foot. Nice wide stance. Finding the bend in that front knee. Right angle down there at the ankle. Right hand, slip it to the outside aspect of that front bent right knee. As you press your big toe down in the front, just press a little bit into the outer aspect of that front knee joint. Again, noticing how that turns things on, prevents any possibility of you destabilizing by spinning the knee inward. So we're really turning things on here. The back foot, press that edge of the foot where the pinky is into the floor, your knees, back knees unlocked. We're dialing feet away from each other. Now that we're stable, we'll open up our wings, look over that middle finger. Beautiful and long. Bending right arm, front arm onto that front leg to reach across, long from the fingertips right to that foot on the floor. Opening up that shoulder, finding that slight rotation in the pelvis, led by the gaze looking up. Pressing into the feet, breathing. Feeling into this. And then releasing back through warrior two with the breath. Sliding left hand down the back leg or wrapping around your waist to find our reverse or exalted warrior. We're still pressing into the feet. Front leg has a bend. Back leg is straight, but the knee is unlocked. Pressing into feet. Dialing feet out. Sliding back through our warrior two, inhaling. Exhale into our side angle, reaching long across that diagonal line of the body. Breathing, of course. And then back through warrior two to find our reverse warrior. All right, everybody. Back to our warrior two. Straighten the front leg, reach with front hand, and tip on over. Place that block again on the outside ankle portion of that foot, hand on the block. Gaze upwards, fingers really strong and activated, energized, press into your feet. Make sure your knees are unlocked. No hyperextension of the knees allowed. And leaning into back body as that top shoulder opens. Breathing. 2 more breaths. Feel into this. Strong, strong Trikonasana triangle pose. Okay, hand is on the block. Let's place that block in front of that forward right foot. Left hand floating to your left hip. Maybe it floats up. Find your version of this. Press into the block on the floor. Imagine you're against the wall, or if you want to move to a wall, if you have that possibility in your space, pressing the back hand into that imaginary wall, lifted left heel, maybe the length of the leg. Notice and enjoy the wobble. So good. Breathing. Yay, okay, let's lower down. Excellent. Now this time I would like you to grab a drink, if possible. So shall I. Lots of strengthening there today in those lateral lines. Let's move a little bit. There's been lots of static poses, lots of isometric contractions, which, by the way, mean I'm contracting a muscle, but it's not lengthening. So we're like holding that contraction. Very, very strengthening, very, very healing. Also very analgesic, like pain relief if we're working through something. With wide stance, let's just bend our knees a bit, thump our chest with the opposite hand, let our gaze move side to side. Enjoy this movement, these big movements. Let's get our lymph fluid pumping and flowing. We're thumping our thymus gland, which stimulates our T cell production. It's all about the immune system. So much goodness in everything we do. Everything we do is intentional. We focus on form to get the most out of our practice, right? Right. Okay, great job. Let's grab our strap again since we've got a handy strap or tie. We may or may not need the, my strap's long enough. I don't have to lose the loop. I can just take it long in my arms. We're going to take a wide stance, wide-ish stance, and take the strap wide on our hands, palms to the back. Gonna do a little bit of shoulder work here. Pulling the strap, pulling hands apart. It's almost like we're at the gym and we've got a barbell underneath that. It says pull the hands away from each other. Pull on that strap, get really tall through the crown, tuck your chin a bit, and inhale, arms up. Pull, pull, pull. Exhale down. And again, inhale, pull on the strap. You're turning on lots of great muscles here. Exhale down. Can you pull a little harder? This time, surprise, inhale all the way up and go up over the top. Maybe you need to make the strap longer at first and all the way back down. I promise you the first one's a grumpy one. Inhale up and over, pull, pull, pull. Exhale around the front. So adjust the length of your strap. Maybe the first one or two you have to make it longer, and then you'll be able to shorten it a bit to bring the arms up and over. So call it shoulder flossing. Let's check in on your feet while you're doing this. The knees are unlocked, of course. Feet are parallel. Big toes rooting down. Feet and knees dialing away from each other. Let's tighten the glutes while we're at it. We'll do 3 more of these. Those shoulder flossings. We're pulling hard on that strap. We're tall. We're breathing. I think this is 2. Can you pull harder? Is it getting easier as you go up over the top? Taking it down. Exhale, and we'll bring it up and over one more time. Excellent. Super duper. Make the strap shorter. We're going to have the palms face down. I'm kind of folding my strap in half here. Palms facing down. Pulling the strap again. Inhale it up. And weight at the top here. Root down your feet. Unlock your knees. Pull the strap apart. Get tall, tall, tall. Exhale to tip a little to your right side. Gaze upwards. Pull on the strap. Check that your knees are unlocked. Check that your big toes are rooted. Your feet are dialing out. Open up that top shoulder. Pull hard on the strap. Inhaling up and over again. Exhale, let's tip to the other side. Looking upward. Pull, pull. One more breath, and up over we go. Excellent. Let's release that. Shake it out. Drop the strap. Just reach over the shoulder. With an extended arm, look over that shoulder. Breathe. Change sides. Very nice. Let's come down onto the floor. Grab a block, please, or a thick book, whatever you've got to work with. I'm going to sit on the block. I have my block long ways this way, so I'm sliding it in between my legs. You can also use 2 blocks. We're going to move into a version of cow face pose. So the knees, one knee comes to a bend in front, the other knee just kind of pops over. And that's why I want you on block or 2 blocks, just to find whatever version of this works for you. Sitting up nice and tall. And now think of trying to pull the legs apart. Pull, pull, pull. If we want to add some arms, you can take one elbow up, plop, put the hand down to the middle of the back. Lean into your back body and tuck your chin. Try to pull your hips apart, feeling into that. One more breath. Releasing that, let's change sides. We'll put the other knee with a bend underneath. So it's just like we're trying to stack the knees. Again, please use a block or two, unless you really feel you don't need it. I like to have a block. And then as we sit tall, let's try to pull the legs apart. Feel into the hips, bring your arms up. The other elbow will be up, the hand dropping down between the shoulder blades. Get tall, tuck your chin. Lean a little into back body. Try to pull those legs, hips apart. Breathing. One more breath. Good job. Woohoo. Let's keep the block there. We're going to go over onto our backs. Bring your knees with you. Give yourself a hug. Rock side to side a little bit. So nice. Lowering feet to floor with a bend in the knees. Slip the block under your sacrum. Feet on the floor. So in a supported version of bridge pose. Karate chop your hands. Press your sides of the hands. Thumbs are sticking up. Press sides of hands, arms and shoulders into earth. Let's press those feet down. Dial the feet away from each other and send up the hips into a bridge. If this is too strong, your hips can stay on the block. Press down to float up. Exhale, lower back down to mat. Inhale, send up the hips, press everything down. Dial out the feet and knees. Exhale, lower down. 2 more times. Inhale, send up the hips, press everything down. And exhale to lower. And 1 more time to press down. This time we'll stay in our bridge pose, unless you choose to use a supported bridge, which is just fine. Pressing into feet, hands, arms, shoulders. Let's inhale, right arm up over the top. Exhale, tap that thumb to the mat over your head. Inhale, bring both arms up to cross over your head. Right arm karate chop, left thumb tapping overhead. Great. Inhale, back up. Cross those arms. Exhale to extend arms. Keep the feet pressing down. Keep the hips rising. Keep the feet dialing out. 1 more each side of these crisscross arms. Keep your bridges strong. 1 more. Well, we've done our 2. The backhand will float back down. Let's bring sacrum back on the block. Lower it down. Send the feet up to the sky for a waterfall. A nice inversion. Inhale, point your toes. Exhale, flex the feet. Inhale, point. Exhale, flex. 2 more. 1 more. Nice. Let's press the soles of the feet right up into the sky. While we're here, let's take our hands. Rest on the outside of your legs. Let's bend the knees a little bit and press into your hands with your legs. Legs resisting into hands. Guess what you're lighting up here? Your lateral lines. Strengthening for the shoulders too. They're doing some work. Now take each palm on the inside of the opposite legs. The arms are crossing. Let's press in now. Into the hands with the legs. Resist outwards with legs into hands. Notice what's turning on. We're breathing, of course. Release that. Let your hands find your heels or your feet, your ankles for your version of the supported happy baby. This is fun. Just play around here. Knees can be wide or near the midline. We can bend them or straighten them, or any combination thereof. Just moving around, getting into some corners. Have fun with this. See what feels good. And then gently letting the feet lower back down to the mat. Carefully remove the block so the sacrum lowers onto the floor. Let's give ourselves a nice bend of the knees again. Keep left knee bent. Take the left leg long to extension. Left hand guiding right bent knee across to the left side of the body. Let's open our right arm outwards, palms upward. Take your gaze to the extended right hand for a beautiful twist. Twisted root pose. Enjoy this. Opening, softening in that shoulder, the right shoulder. Breathing into belly and back and pelvic floor. And breathing back to center. Let's bend our knees, bring our forehead up to say hello to your knees, a little tiny ball. Slowly lowering head to floor, extend your right leg long again. Keep your left knee bent. And now letting right arm, hand guide left bent knee across the midline to the right side of body. Left arm opening up, palm to the sky. Take your gaze to that extended left hand. Softening into your left shoulder and breathing into belly, back, and pelvic floor. Unwinding, extending both legs. Take your heels to the outside of your mat. Extending arms overhead. Now left leg crossing over the right ankle. Lean a little to your right side. Maybe left arm grasping the right wrist. Long, 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 long. Feeling that extension up the side of the body. I almost said the word stretch, but I don't like that word to leave my lips, actually. That's a whole nother conversation. And let's release that. Take the right ankle to the right corner of the mat. Take your left ankle to the left side of the mat. Right leg ankle crossing over left. Grasp your left wrist in your right hand and breathe extension long through the side of the body. Breathing. We call this a banana sometimes. Enjoy your banana pose. And then releasing to settle into your Shavasana, whatever that looks like for you. If you need something else, if you need another twist or nice reset, stretch, pendiculation is the word, or just kind of reaching, elongating. Give your body whatever you need. If you need to take a little run and turn down your lights, grab a blanket, socks, a sweater, whatever you need, pillow, be comfy in your Shavasana. The beauty of having the recording is you can put me on pause and take care of your needs. Settling in. Let go. Let it go. Let go of the ways you thought life would unfold. The holding of plans or dreams or expectations. Let it all go. Save your strength to swim with the tide. The choice to fight what is here before you now will only result in struggle, fear, and desperate attempts to flee from the very energy you long for. Let go. Let it all go and flow with the grace that washes through your days, whether you receive it gently or with all your quills raised to defend against invaders. Take this on faith. The mind may never find the explanations that it seeks, but you will move forward nonetheless. Let go. And the wave's crest will carry you to unknown shores, beyond your wildest dreams or destinations. Let it all go and find the place of rest and peace and certain transformation. Inhaling and exhaling. Returning to the breath, to the body, to your room, to your mat, to sensation, to senses. Hearing what's in the background in your environment, noticing any scents, smells, feelings on your skin, as we arrive back to our consciousness, to being present in our bodies with our breath. If it feels lovely, we can bring gentle movement into fingers and toes, maybe circling our wrists, our ankles, maybe our head moving side to side, maybe little circles with our nose, and then the other way. Whatever gentle, intuitive, natural movements are coming just automatically to your body as you arrive back, inviting your body back, your spirit. And perhaps rolling over onto one side, if that appeals, maybe cradling head and arms for a pillow. And when you feel ready, taking your time, eventually meeting me seated again on the mat. Sitting tall, long through the crown, feeling into our bodies. Can you sense or feel your heartbeat? Sensing into your body temperature. Are you warm? Are you cool? Sensing into your pool of stillness inside. Right, tapping into your center. How do you feel now versus before we started? And then we'll breathe our arms up, reaching skyward, embracing the blessings in our lives, the gifts that surround us, taking them down into our sacred heart space. And again, scooping up the blessings in our lives, inhaling, reaching skyward, embracing them, giving them more energy, and taking them down to our sacred heart space, sealing our practice. I hope you enjoyed this journey through the lateral lines of the body. I'd be interested in your feedback. How, where you felt it, if it makes sense. If you have any questions, as always, please reach out to me. This is just such a journey of deeper awareness and health and wellness and improving our movement patterns and just becoming so much more aware of how we move, why we move as we do, and how we can really optimize our movement patterns. With yoga being as our container that we are working with, it's such a perfect container with its slow and mindfulness, meditative piece. We can really tune in and feel into our bodies and rejoice in that sensation and in that deepening awareness. So thank you, everyone. I'm so honored to be your guide through this series of classes. I wish you a glorious next few days, a week. Please use this recording as often as you wish. Share it with your friends. And I send my love and blessings to you. Namaste.